Learn English through story about uncovering global culinary traditions. The story begins on a warm afternoon when a young traveler named Sarah steps into a bustling international food market for the first time. The air is filled with rich aromas of spices, roasted vegetables, fresh herbs, and sizzling meats from dozens of cultures. She has always enjoyed cooking, but today she wants something more. She wants to understand how food connects people across continents. She wants to uncover global culinary traditions and learn English through every conversation she encounters. The first stall she visits comes from Morocco. A friendly vendor stirs a large pot of slow-cooked tagine filled with apricots, almonds, cinnamon, and tender lamb. Sarah listens as he explains how families gather around a single pot to share stories. She learns new vocabulary such as simmer, marinate, preserved lemon, and aromatic spices. She repeats each word softly, letting their rhythm settle into her memory. She realizes that every dish carries a piece of history and identity. A few steps later, she arrives at a Japanese stall where a chef shapes delicate pieces of sushi. His hands move with precision and grace. He explains the importance of balance between rice texture, fish freshness, and gentle seasoning. Sarah learns words like umami, tradition, technique, and craftsmanship. She watches closely and notices how the chef bows slightly after completing each dish. It is not only food, it is respect. Farther down the market, she hears lively music from a Mexican corner. A cheerful woman prepares handmade tortillas and fills them with colorful ingredients. The woman explains that many recipes come from ancient cultures that treasured corn as a sacred plant. Sarah learns the words heritage, ancestral, roasting, and salsa verde. She tastes the food and feels a burst of flavors that are vibrant and comforting. Sarah continues exploring the market the next day. She arrives early, hoping to see cooks prepare ingredients before customers arrive. Her first stop is an Italian stall. A man in a white apron kneads dough with slow and steady movements. He tells her that real Italian pasta begins with patience and respect for simple ingredients. Sarah learns new words such as knead, texture, elasticity, and homemade. She watches as he rolls the dough into thin sheets that shine in the morning light. He explains that every region of Italy has its own shape, sauce, and story. Next, she approaches a Thai food stall. The chef crushes garlic, chili, and lemongrass using a heavy mortar and pestle. The rhythm is strong and steady. He explains how Thai cuisine balances sweet, sour, salty, and spicy flavors. Sarah learns new vocabulary including fragrant herbs, fusion, broth, and coconut-based dishes. She tastes a spoonful of tom yum soup and feels warmth spread through her entire body. A little further along, Sarah discovers an Indian food demonstration. A cook sprinkles turmeric, cumin, and coriander seeds into hot oil. The spices crackle and release a deep aroma that fills the entire aisle. The cook tells her about the importance of spices not only for flavor but also for healing. Sarah learns the words infusion, vibrant, handcrafted blend, and regional variation. She begins to understand that cuisine is not just about taste. It is about identity, geography, climate, belief, and community. Later in the afternoon, she visits a French pastry stall. The baker shapes delicate pastries with butter so cold it barely melts in her fingers. She explains the importance of temperature, timing, and precise technique. Sarah learns vocabulary such as flaky layers, pâtisserie, glaze, and caramelization. She tastes a small tart filled with lemon cream. The mixture of sharp citrus and soft sweetness surprises her. On the final day of her culinary journey, Sarah decides to explore not only dishes, but also the stories behind them. She begins at a Lebanese food stall where a man prepares hummus and tabbouleh. He tells her that these dishes are often shared during celebrations and family gatherings. Sarah learns words like hospitality, community table, refreshing herbs, and generous serving. She realizes that some traditions focus more on sharing than on the food itself. Next, she finds a Korean stall where a woman prepares kimchi. The woman explains how families gather each year to make large batches that last through winter. Sarah learns the words fermentation, preservation, tradition keeper, and generational recipe. She begins to see how food connects the past with the present. At a West African stall, a chef introduces her to jollof rice. He describes how each country in the region has its own style, and every family defends its recipe with pride. Sarah learns vocabulary such as regional rivalry, smoky flavor, slow cooking base, and cultural pride. She laughs at the friendly debates between cooks from different backgrounds. Before leaving the market, she visits one last stall from Greece. A woman prepares a warm dish of roasted eggplant, olive oil, and fresh herbs. She tells Sarah that Greek cuisine celebrates nature, simplicity, and time spent together. Sarah learns new expressions like Mediterranean lifestyle, traditional harvest, earthy flavor, and seasonal cooking. As the sun begins to set, Sarah sits at a wooden table overlooking the entire market. She reflects on her journey. Through global culinary traditions, she has tasted the world, listened to diverse stories, and discovered the deep meaning behind everyday dishes. She realizes that food is a universal language that connects cultures in ways she never imagined.